This week, we're going to turn a little bit of slaw mix, a little bit leftover sauce with some hamburger and lentils and turn it into a poor man's, what do you call that? Stuffed cabbage roll. Stay tuned. Hi, welcome back to One Dish, Two Ways. And this is the second video of us using some slaw mix, and I have another bag here, to see if we can do things with it to see if Joe likes it a little bit better, and just in general for me to get more slaw into my diet, because cabbage is very, very good for you. So we were talking about, Joe was mentioning that friends of ours back when we lived in Virginia, she used to make those delicious cabbage rolls where she took the big leaf of the cabbage and then it was that hamburger rice mixture and then you cooked it all day in that marinara. That was a lot of work if you've ever done that. And he didn't want the rice. I didn't want the work. So we were trying to come up with something different to do. And I said, well, you've got some leftover hamburger, unseasoned hamburger in the fridge that you need to use. I had some leftover lentils. So let's make this as simple as possible. And that's what we're doing. So both of these pans are on medium. This one's on a little bit less because it's on the high burner. And so the meat and the lentils have started to warm up. Now we got to add the slaw. Now, how much slaw mix do you want in yours, babe? Okay. So I'm going to put the rest of that in mine, and then I need more. So you could also, if you want, you could add other veggies. That's not a problem. We're just keeping it simple with the ingredients that we already have. So that's what we're doing today. So I'm going to add just a tad more. No, better not. Okay. And then also, I also had some half open containers of, I've got a pizza sauce here and I've got a marinara sauce. So we're going to use both of those up. I have tomato paste that's open in the fridge if I need to go grab that and add some water to that. But I think I'm going to have enough. And I've got water here so I can shake the jars out. So pizza sauce obviously has a different, it's a little thicker than regular marinara. So I'm going to use a little bit of both into both dishes so they're equal as far as that goes. So half of what's left over here, half of what's left over here, and then same with this. So this is a great way to use up some ingredients, which I am all about that. Food is expensive, so you don't want to have to waste it. And then we obviously some seasoning, and just like with those cabbage rolls, it was like an Italian seasoning. And yeah, I make my own pizza seasoning, so we're going to use that. It's got the Italian seasoning, garlic, onion powder, we like a little crushed red pepper in it, so it's got a little bit of everything in it. So I'm just going to add a good couple tablespoons to each batch. And now I'm going to stir. So basically all you need to do is get the cabbage to where it's cooked to your satisfaction and your meat or your lentils heated up and your sauce heated up. So this is a easy, quick weeknight meal. If you really needed to stretch it further, you could turn it into a soup and add, if you've got some leftover broth, you could do that. A little bit of leftover noodles, you could do that. So don't limit it to what I've got here. Kind of use what you've got to finish things up. Okay, so I think they need a little bit, it's pretty thick. So I need to, what do you call that, Joe? I need to add a little bit more liquid to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is just water in here, and I'm going to add a little bit of water to this, probably about a half a cup, to one of the jars. Shake it up. And then turn this into the other jar, because you want to clean these jars out anyway. You don't want to waste all that. And then I'm going to add a little bit to each one. This will help thin it out. Plus there'll be some release of liquid from the cabbage also. So keep that in mind. So you don't want to overdo it, because then you will end up with soup. Okay. This is looking good. So, Joe, I would assume you want this cooked a little bit longer till that cabbage is a little more cooked. Am I correct in that? Okay.
Soup wouldn't be all necessarily red.
Correct. No, that would be good. But I think we've already done like a mock cabbage soup, so that's why I didn't want to do that necessarily for this video. So mine is looking fantastic. And you see, by thinning out the extra sauces, we were able to thin all this out. So this looks very good. And so it came together so quick using ingredients we already had. in a different way. So I love that. It's like a win-win-win all around. But I am curious, do you have some ingredients in your cupboard where you could give this recipe a try? So this one needs to go down because it's on the high burner. Joe's is looking phenomenal here. Your cabbage is getting cooked. The cabbage will almost act like a noodle, I think. But again, we're not going to overload it because, you know, Joe wants to try this. He's not looking to hate it instantly. So sometimes I know there's many things like radishes. I'm not a fan of them, but I know how good they are for you. So I chop a little bit up in my salad and I give it a try. So that's what we're doing here. We're slow walking this. You don't have to like everything, but if you do want to try to incorporate things into your diet, you can just do a little bit at a time. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. That's not how this is played. A little bit more is always good, but it doesn't have to be all the time. So mine is looking phenomenal, and I think I'm going to I'm going to turn mine off. As like I said, this is on that high burner, and that's the slow one, so that's where we're kind of limited when we have this. Joe, do you want to come see if yours is ready to taste? If those cabbage is cooked long enough for you? And I have your fork here. Ooh, hot, 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 hot. Mine fell on my, he doesn't have his mic on, so I'll make sure you. Should I turn it off?
Yeah. Nope. Cabbage is cooked down to where it's not really noticeable, but it does kind of give you a noodle texture between that and the carrot and the other stuff that's in there. I wouldn't complain about this, but it's hot.
The seasoning's on point too, between the sauces having seasoning and then a couple tablespoons of Italian pizza seasoning.
The cabbage, if you ever use zucchini in place of pasta, you kind of have that little bit of crunch from the zucchini noodle part.
You don't with that.
But that's what it reminds me of, where I'm getting the cabbage is cooked down enough, but it still has a little bit of body to it. So it basically tastes like a zucchini noodle at this point, which is fine with me.
Okay. There you go. It's a success. 2 good recipes using a 69-cent bag of slaw mix. So something else to do with it besides just making slaw or putting it on salads or in your wrap. So let us know in the comments if you want to give this recipe a try. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we hope you have a great week. Bye-bye.